start with the Chargers, Kansas City, Arrowhead Stadium. I got some numbers for you here that you're going to like. Just hold on to the table while I read these. Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City is 80-20 as a starter. Think about that. 80-20.
Wow.
He's just been unbelievable. 238 touchdowns, 61 interceptions. At Arrowhead Stadium, Patrick Mahomes is 42-10 as a starting quarterback at home.
Amazing.
And the Chargers are 2-7 against Mahomes. Mahomes has got a 99 quarterback rating. Mahomes is not doing things statistically this year that he'd done the prior group of years. And it's more than just Tyreek Hill having gone to Miami. But he says we're going to play at a faster tempo. So I would think come Sunday when the Chargers line up, you're going to see no huddle, tempo offense. They're going to try to get this thing rolling because it hasn't been as dangerous and as explosive. Justin Herbert, we talked about Mahomes 80-20, one-loss record. Justin Herbert is 27-28.
Ooh.
Isn't it hard to believe?
Yeah.
I mean, with all the dynamics and all the things he does and his touchdown to interception ratio, he's 27-28. And that's not his fault. That's leaky offensive line, lack of power running game, and multiples of problems on the defensive side of the football. And the Bolts defense is 31st in the NFL and 32nd in pass defense. Chargers are giving up 391 yards per game. So all that, they go to Arrowhead Stadium. Now, this is odd. Justin Herbert has won twice at Arrowhead, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is.
He's 2-4 against Kansas City in his career, but both have been at Arrowhead Stadium. So here's the key. Can they pass rush Mahomes enough to keep Mahomes in the pocket and not let him wander all over the place and then make the wild throws downfield? How do you double Kelsey? Considering the fact the other wide receivers in Kansas City are not playing really well, you got to double Kelsey and just make Kadarius Toney and Rasheen Rice beat you. They somehow have to slow Kelsey down. So I think it's going to be a fascinating game, but Herbert's hurt. He's admitted he's still in pain. He's admitted he can't take snaps under center with his left hand.
Oh, jeez.
So they got a lot of problems here. And if they lose, John, it's going to be terrible. They'll be 2-4. He'll be in such big trouble if they lose this game. So Chargers, Chiefs, Miami, Philadelphia. This is going to be fun. If you thought Buffalo, Miami a couple weeks ago was cool, what do you think is going to happen here? You got Tua versus Jalen Hurts. The intangible, Miami is running the hell out of the ball with Raheem Mostert. You got D'Angelo Swift, who can run it for Philadelphia. He's had 2 big games this season. And then you got Tyreek catching everything that Tua throws. Miami's offense going into this game with the Eagles is averaging 498 yards per game. Miami's offense, 44% conversion on third downs. You don't see those numbers in the NFL. Wow. Philadelphia, just absolutely amazing. They're averaging 395 a game. They're giving up only 298. So, I mean, I just think this is going to be a mystical shootout. Tua, Jalen Hurts. Those are staggering numbers. And then the third game that we'll pay attention to, this is going to be ugly. This is Baltimore, Lamar Jackson versus Detroit, and the way they play defense, which slows quarterbacks down and knocks quarterbacks down and takes the ball away from quarterbacks. Here's a weird stat for you. Jared Goff, who the Rams ran off, failed first-round draft pick. Jared Goff, 11 touchdowns and 3 picks this season, John. A 105 rating. This is a guy who couldn't play for the Rams, got a 105 rating, one of the top-rated quarterbacks in the National Football League. He's just really done well. And since last October, over the last 17 games from mid-October through this weekend, Jared Goff's got 29 touchdowns and 4 picks in 17 games.
Wow.
He's helped turn the corner with the way Lions football is played. He's 13-4 as a starter since last October 1st. So that's going to be a weird game because you got Detroit with fierce defense, and now you got Goff who's playing really well, and Lamar Jackson having to do an awful lot of it by himself. Okay, so you match up. Tell me about Herbert versus Mahomes, and then tell me about what's going to happen. Tua versus Jalen Hurts, and then the ugly game, Detroit-Baltimore.
Well, yeah, I mean, these are way better games than last week for sure. There's no way the Chargers are going to win in Kansas City. I mean, when you were broadcasting and you were in Arrowhead Stadium, I mean, that is a really hard place to win. I mean, tell me some stories about Arrowhead.
It's a bowl, steep seating. It's like the fans are right on top of your bench, and the noise is just unbelievable. And we played there a bunch of years, and we really struggled. And we'd play hard, and we'd turn it over. Or we'd play hard. We had 3 games decided at the end of games or in overtime on punt returns or kick returns. Like we were cursed.
Oh, my.
And then we finally won. And what we did was we beat Marty Schottenheimer's team, running the hell out of the ball the year we were going to the Super Bowl with Bobby Ross.
Okay.
And we won that game, and that game was dirty, penalty flags everywhere. It's just a really tough place to play because you're playing Mahomes, but you're playing the fans, and they go crazy in Kansas City. So it's a very tough venue. But I give credit to Justin Herbert. He's got 2 wins already at Arrowhead, which a lot of quarterbacks can't say. But this is going to be hard because he's hurt. He's playing as well as he can play. Just don't think he's got an awful lot of help. And the one thing that's different about Kansas City, right, actually there's 2 things. It's not Kansas City as we knew with Mahomes throwing to Tyreek. That's different. The other thing that's different is their defense has gotten a lot better. They got a lot more athletes who can run. They've done a good job with the last 2 drafts. They're playing all those kids. Steve Spagnuolo's defense has only given up 292 yards per game. So it's tougher to move the ball on them and complete deep passes down the field because they're so athletic on the back end. I think it's going to be really hard.
Well, let's say you're playing pickup ball and you're the captain of the team, and you can pick either Mahomes or Tom Brady at their peak, when they were at their best performance. Which of those 2 guys is the best? I mean, that's a hard one to pick.
Sure.
Maybe Mahomes might be the number 1.
You're reaching here for a question that I don't need an answer to that. We know Brady's 6 rings and all the accomplishments and all the records. But Patrick Mahomes is 80-20 as a starter.
Yeah.
I mean, those numbers are better than Brady's numbers.
Yeah, they're unbelievable. I mean, and he's done it in such a short amount of time. I mean, we know Brady is the GOAT, but I think at the end of the day, Mahomes is going to surpass Brady. And I mean, Mahomes has 2 Super Bowls? Mm-hmm. Brady has 6. So 4 more, definitely possible.
Okay. So we got a great weekend ahead of us around the National Football League. And of course, we'll rehash it come Monday with our bonus podcast. And by the way, looking for a Charger fan, looking for an NFL fan, is the criticism of Justin Herbert justified? Or you want to jump into the chat box, give us a response? Should all the blame be put on head coach Brandon Staley? We go from NFL football